And we're going to talk about handgun qualification license, part of the actual application to carry a handgun. And if you happen to look at the law, the state police has interpreted the provision of law that this bill repeals to require an applicant to fire a single round with a handgun before the HQL license can be issued. The single round requirement does not demonstrate proficiency nor accuracy and requires an individual to travel to a range to discharge a firearm. The same demonstration can be performed with dummy ammunition, where the person would show safe carry, loading, and firing of a handgun without having to travel to a range. The most significant barrier posed by this requirement is the difficulty it causes prospective HQL holders living in areas that have either few or no gun ranges for the prospective holder to carry out this live fire requirement. In these jurisdictions, it's harder, particularly for residents who have lower incomes and those who rely on mass transit to fulfill this requirement and obtain the HQL. For that purpose, I respectfully request a favorable report on Senate Bill 881. Thank you for your consideration. I'd like to take any questions.
Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much, Senator. Do we have a panel for him? Ms. Novotny. That's it.
Hi, Katie Novotny again, here with Maryland Shall Issue. So we support this bill. There is currently, as was said in the testimony, there's no requirement in the statute for a live fire. This is discriminatory, and it just doesn't make sense. One shot does not make someone proficient. The Maryland State Police added additional provisions, and that should be alarming to everybody, because what prevents them from adding additional provisions to other things that may be something that you and your constituents care about? So there's no ranges located within Baltimore City and some other areas, and there's also areas where during the training they fire into a barrel or some other safe thing that's not at a range, but there's a lot of locations that even prohibit this type of activity. So people often have to travel large distances to go to a place where they can do this class. If we're worried about safety and having safe citizens, then we would want as many people as possible to have this training. And if you can offer this training in a classroom, a library, a basement, somewhere where you may not be able to fire a firearm, but you can educate people on safe gun handling and laws, we think that that's a good thing. So we support this bill. Thank you.
Briefly, I was trying to find, in the statute, is there a provision now that requires that a single bullet be fired?
No.
As a part of the training?
No.
Is that what, part of a regulation or something?
That's something that the Maryland State Police, the way they interpreted I forget how it's written.
Okay.
That's their interpretation of a firearms orientation component that demonstrates a person's safe operation and handling of a firearm.
A single bullet.
That's correct.
Okay. It doesn't sound to me like a single bullet's going to teach much.
So I was a firearm safety instructor for the Maryland Police Training Commission for years.
Yeah.
I have taught hunter safety for years. We do not teach people the first time when we're doing that to put one round in a gun and fire it and walk away. Right? We teach them with, we start with guns that don't, that are not fireable.
Don't fire. Right.
Then we move on to dummy rounds. We have them show proficiency, load it, unload it. They can squeeze the trigger, everything. The gun will not go bang, but they learn the proficiency of the firearm, right? And you can do that while they're learning the class, while they're taking the class. There's no reason, and that's what this provision is trying to do away with, is the fact that, okay, you've done the class, but now, next week, we've got to go to this range that you've got to get your way there.
And shoot one shot.
And you shoot one shot, and then you're good.
Okay, thank you.